new driver alert, one I'm testing for my golf bag because it's a Cleveland Launcher XL. And I've got 3 different heads, which we'll talk about. And the reason I'm going to really be quite excited to see how this one does is I use and have been using the Launcher HD Turbo. And to be fair, I've been enjoying it. So I'm kind of thinking, oh no, a new one to make me double guess, triple guess me old one, which I was just getting used to. So I don't know if I'll put this in the bag or not. I don't know if I'll go back to the Strixon driver that I can also use, because just to let you know as well in this video, I'm paid by Strixon. I work with Strixon. They don't have any say on the outcome of this test, so they send me the clubs and they actually let me use them, and then I give them back once I've finished, to be fair. But you know, I'll hit the clubs, tell you what I feel, tell you if I'll change, because I do like the old one. I do like that. I'm getting really used to that one. And show you what the 3 models could do for your game. I'll also present some data as well to show you what they actually do, what the numbers come out like. So, you know, do with that information what you will. But I'm looking forward to this. Initial ideas with the new one. Well, it definitely looks different because we lose this highball visible crown and lines, which I do like these line-up lines. It's gone smooth and it looks more stretched back. It almost looks bigger. I'm just going to get another drive of it. First one was nice, so it feels longer in the shaft, and if I compare it to my other one here, it is around ½ an inch to an inch longer in the shaft. It definitely looks bigger, a little bit more stretched back in the head. We will look at the tech as we go. Looks like there's quite a lot of weight in trying to get back to the back of it. I'm imagining MOI and what have you have gone up on this club. I've dabbled with the longer shaft, so that's something that's not really bothering me. The cleaner look on the top, I think lots of people will prefer the cleaner look. You know, I think they'll like the fact that it's nice and clean on the top. I actually was quite enjoying the lines of the Launcher Turbo. Let's just try another one. Sound feel on that first tee shot, to be fair, felt quite similar. Yeah, they're louder. Both of them are. They make a big ting. Which again, I go in of liking and not liking, subject to the club. I expect this club to make a big ting. I think people, the demographic that this club is aimed at generally, because you've got to remember the price of this club is very different to what's out there at the market at the moment. You know, I think actually don't mind a bit of ting possibly, but comments down below, because in the UK I'm going to put the launch dates down here because there's a different launch date to Europe or UK to America as well, which might get confusing for people. But the price of this one, it's normally around 250 quid. And the big thing that we're getting now, which I'm noticing, which I'm excited about, changeable neck. We have a changeable hosel, only on one of the 3 heads. The old one didn't, which means it was great price. It performed good, as you've hopefully seen me hit and play with, and I'm hoping the performance of this one is the same, if not maybe even better, but how I would find that, I'm not sure. But having a changeable neck at this price, with the numbers the old one produced, now we're serious questions, because fitters have options for you. So here's the decent drive. It's into the wind today and it's gone kind of where I'd expect. The other drive, I towed it, the second one, just over here, look, by the tree. So on the angle we're hitting up on, I would say there's like, I don't know, like maybe 5-7 yards between those two. Pretty good. If MOI is the claim, well, that did pretty good. I'm gonna hit my approach. Why don't we go and look at what Cleveland is saying about these 3 drivers. So when we look at the tech, Cleveland is saying this is the most forgiving driver line they've ever made. Obviously, we've got the free model, adjustable loft and lie. We've got the light model and we've got the draw model as well, trying to reduce that curvature. So it's about 6.7 longer front to back, which I could see out there. It's a longer head, makes you feel like it's a bigger head. It's an 11% increase on MOI compared to the previous generation, which sounds like a lot. I'm not sure I'll find that, but I'm happy it's there, which they're claiming is a 27% tighter dispersion when compared against previous generations. All three of them feature the rebound frame, which provides alternating zones of flexibility and rigidity that directs more energy into the golf ball, is what they say. So you're trying to keep those ball speeds up across the face. Obviously, one of them comes with the adjustable hosel for launch and lie to try and help you dial in where you want that ball to fly and the flight through the air. We've also got the Action Mass CB, an 8-gram weight placed inside the end of the grip, delivering better balance for more control without extra effort. So the counterbalancing idea, if you like. Loft's available in the XL 9, 10.5, 12. The light starts at 10 and then the draw is 10. There's also a woman's light version as well at 12. So the big talk is around, I mean, the MOI is crazy, 5,200 measured at on the kind of MOI scale, if you like, and it's the most they've ever put into one of their drivers. So really, we're looking for more friendly drives in the long run. So when I look at the three heads down by the ball, you don't really see any difference. I can see this is the draw. Just by the way it's sitting a fraction and the way it joins at the neck. Obviously I can see the standard one has the changeable neck as well, so that's the only difference. But the changeable neck is super subtle. Like, it's not big when you look down at it. It's not like some big, aren't they, and cumbersome. It's closer to a ping neck where you just wouldn't really notice it apart from the markings. So really what we're getting is we're getting a changeable neutral and then two others. The lighter one obviously for people who want to get a little bit of speed going, and then you got the draw bias if you want to try and just reduce possibly a little bit of curvature subject to what you bring to the table. Again, with draw drivers, don't think you're going to draw the ball. It's more you're going to maybe reduce what curvature you bring, or increase it. You know, if you're drawing it already, this might increase it. And then the neutral one, the one I would game, it sits neutral. It's nice lines. It just is that kind of, they all look big and friendly. And to me, they look like anyone could play them, including me, which I think is pretty crazy if you think about it in the way drivers are marketed these days. So I'm going to focus outside more on the one I'm gaming. I will show you numbers with all three. Not that those two are particularly lofted correctly for me. I'm more intrigued if the light allows me to go any faster, because that might reflect through to you as well. Again, you would have to go and test, and just to see what kind of curvature and stuff the draw one does. Again, it might have smaller effect on me, but if it does change the way the ball curves through the air, that's something again that might reflect on you in testing, and that's the point. You need to go and test them. And with three heads and a changeable neck, what we do have now is a driver possibly which more people could test at a crazy price. I'm going to save the numbers for this video to the end, because I'm quite intrigued to see how they compare to what I'm feeling outside here on the course. Normally on these videos I do the numbers first, like I practice with it, get data with it, make sure it's all fit and where I want it. If it's not, I'll ask for different components or what have you, and then I come out and do the course bit. But I'm going to leave the number, I haven't done the numbers yet. I'm going to leave them to the end. What do you reckon? How are they going to come out? Post comments down below. For the price, surely it's got to be worse, isn't it? So I mean that flight to me, it's a slight low heel, but it's right down the middle, it's in play. That flight just feels like the one I've been gaming, which is kind of what I want, because I don't want it to change too much, because I've been enjoying what I've been gaming. It's always the problem with new ones, isn't it? Are they any better, really? Right, should we go for one? See what happens. When I think about trying to go faster, now I'm really appreciating how large this club looks. Like, you know, that's making me think, yes please, I want to go for this a bit more. It's still relatively stealthy on the top, so not too shiny, which I quite like from Cleveland. I like the line frames up. I do miss the lines of the whole old launcher. I did like those lines, but I've used plenty of neutral topped headed drivers, so I don't think I will kind of miss that too much over a period of time. The sound to me feels no different to the old one, which is a good thing. The feel, to be fair, it feels a fraction longer in the shaft, but with the bigger head it kind of balances out and makes sense. I've always quite liked the counterbalance side of these drivers, something I've never really looked at that much, but the more I've tested, it can It sometimes squeezes the odd half a mile an hour out of me extra, if you can even say that. I've just said it, but you would have to test to see what it does for you. Yeah, like that's just where you'd want this club to be. I hit that fine, I didn't hit it great, and it's still flown pretty straight, slight cut because it was a bit of a heel, and I absolutely feel like I could go for that. I want to hit another one. Same thing again, just going to give it a bit more. One of the drives where there's a bit of room and you want to try and send it. What I don't want it doing is just ballooning up in the air, which I can do. Can I control these things with this head? Absolutely. That's just good. If anything, I would say just a fraction. The more I hit it, it's maybe not quite as tingy as the other one, but maybe I'm clutching at straws. That could be the surround more than anything else. Nice. Let's have a little bit of comments down below game, shall we? I think drivers like this just throw up an interesting question always. You know, we're going to go and look at the numbers. I'm intrigued to see how they come out. They might not be very good, but let's go and see them. For what I'm seeing on the course, it's going to slot in with nearly anything I've tested. So how much did you spend on your last driver? In the comments down below. How much do you think as well? You can answer in the same comment or post to, whatever's easiest. How much do you think drivers should be? You know, should they be more around this price? Because they are getting more and more and more expensive. And you know, Cleveland, Strixons, XO make ridiculously expensive drivers. The Strixon ones are up there. The Cleveland obviously is a little bit cheaper. So it's not as if, you know, I'm like saying, well, Strixon are just so much better and cheaper. It's not that, because they make them at different price points as well. In the comments. Come on, let's hear what you think. I'll be intrigued to know. So this is funny as well. The drive is right into the sun. You can see there it is as it refocuses. So it's very bright. Look how dark my hand's gone. So you get this massive contrast that my eyes struggle with from looking down to then looking up. Whoa, you're blinded straight away when you hit tee shot. This is the first one I hit, which I felt like I hit quite well. Like it felt decent. The second one though, just look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Around 30 paces further up. If you would have asked me back on the tee, you know, how will they be? I would have thought they'd have been quite similar. Got to remember when you're testing drivers, and we'll see it. I'll try and show you it in the numbers when we go inside. Your variance is in there. Trying to work out if one is 6 yards further than the other. Well, if it is, sometimes 6 yards, depending on your variance, actually isn't really 6 yards further. Because you've got to start looking a bit more at your standard deviations if you don't want to be just sold two people's. Right, 2 drives up the last here to finish, and I'm intrigued to see how these numbers are going to come out. Post in the comments down below what you think. Longer, same, shorter, what do you reckon? I'm feeling like they're going to be the same. Now if they're the same, and the MOI is higher, and which I'm not going to be able to measure, why would I turn that away, really? Oh, I'm intrigued. What do you reckon? Post comments. I really don't know. I think it's going to be the same. Obviously, I know it'll be the same, as in, because all drivers perform very, very similar. That's just good. What I'm intrigued to know with the numbers is if I do go for this one with that fractionally longer shaft, like can I push a little bit extra out of it? So like what can I get out of it more or less? Because they're gonna all perform pretty much the same. Obviously the MOI claims are something you would have to test over thousands of shots if you wanted to see that come out. And if you think of thousands of shots in your rounds, I mean, how many years is that? Is it a year? Is it 2? Is it 3? Subject to how much you play. And then you've got bounces and winds to work in that, or the mess of real golf. So if you'd actually ever see that coming out, something I would just kind of trust from any manufacturer who says that, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, that is just it in fairway, which I do feel like I'm doing at the minute with my old one. I've got a 4, you know, when you just get like a, oh yeah, I've got that 4, and then it blows up, you need another one, don't you? Which is always the problem, isn't it? Golf. Just stop winning golf. Let us win some times. Come on. Numbers are in behind me. I've hit shots with all 3 clubs, predominantly with the one I would use, but I've also got some data here to show you with the other 2. Have you got your guesses in? How do you reckon it's done? Let's go and have a look. So we'll start with the ball data. If we look at the dispersions here, the red is the one I would play, and then the yellow and the blue is the light and the light draw. You can see the draw is possibly that fraction further left, but it's very, very close. Those two are not the right loft for me, and you know, they're not really built for me, where the standard one here, you can see, does kind of fit into my wheelhouse. So ball speed 162. Same with the draw, pretty much the same with the light. It's less than 1 mile an hour, and you've got standard deviations here overlapping. The launch angle is better with the standard, as you'd expect, because it's fit right up for me. The other two aren't really fit for me. So if we look at the light, let's see if I was able to move them any further. So the draw and the light here, both of them are lighter, and you can see there is potential for an extra mile an hour club head speed. Again, the standard deviations cross. So if that actually is an increase, but it's something you would test to see how you react to lighter or not, because the human does bring their mess to this test. I do a lighter shaft test with Matt Lockey, who plays in our videos, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't swing it any faster. You give me a lighter shaft, I can move it faster. It's, well, 1 mile an hour, and it's subject to standard deviation. So there's potential for extra speed. It's, again, something that you have to test rather than just think they're black and white givens, which is often the way when it comes to the shaft. So with the one I want to gain, 162 ball average, which is great for me. I think my fastest was like up near a 163, 164, 162 with the draw, 161, and again, standard deviations. Ball speed's very similar with all of them. Spin down at 2.6, because obviously I'm producing a better loft, and I'm getting much better. Look how close the standard deviation is, 53 revs. That's crazy for 15 shots. Machine. And then carrying 280, standard deviation of 2 yards. If you look at these two, you would argue, so at the point I made outside, 271 to 267, the draw goes further, it's 4 yards further. Well, it's not. The standard deviation, this has got 5 yards above this, 5 yards below this, and this has got 6 yards above this and 6 yards below this potentials as well. So this can overtake this one, subject to how many times you toss heads or tails when you do your coin toss testing. I've said it before in loads of other videos, something you really need to stand out and watch for. So many people, I think, are sold on 5 yards, 6 yards further. Subject to what your standard deviations are, that'll just keep switching if you just keep retesting, retesting, retesting. Be careful with that. It's something I see people get mixed up. But the XL, I'm impressed, and yes, I reckon it could possibly go in the bag. Like I've said before, MOI claims, not sure I can see them. That extra little bit of shaft length, I think it's, again, marginal for me. It's something, again, you'd have to test as well to see if it's the shaft length makes it harder for you to control the face, those kind of things. But yeah, I think that's just a really good, I'm going to call it a replacement, but they're going to call it a improvement, because I can't quantify the MOI. That's something we're going to have to do over a long period of time. It certainly looks bigger. Certainly makes me feel I can give it a bit of a wallop. So that's a 111 trying to hit the centre line kind of tee shot. Happy with that. It's a 158 ball. I towed it slightly. 294. Should we see, just for the one more go crew? Remember one more go? I need to get back on that a bit more. Can I sneak a 165 ball speed out of it? What do you reckon? Comments down below. There you go, thanks for watching. If you want to stay around and watch me slam it and see if I can actually hit target while killing it, do. If you don't, you're done. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. And let me know what you think of that club. It's asks some questions, doesn't it? Those numbers at that price, I think it asks some questions sometimes that maybe some people don't like answering or being asked. Oh, ball speed me up, come on. Oh, in the middle of the club. 114 head has the potential for a 165 ball, just not struck that way. 163, oh, we could do it. Might go left, only a little. 114, have we done it in 2 shots? Get up there. Oh, it's a 190k, 164 ball. Oh my word. Whoa, 162, too much loft, 17 degrees, no. Oh, yes! 165. I healed it as well. Ah, 165. Come on. That didn't take too long, did it?